What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. We are back to kick off a new week. I've got Magic here with me to help get it started. Magic, we've got a big-time week ahead of us, followed by another big-time week. We had a big-time week last week, so this is the fun part, right? This is what we're supposed to enjoy.
We're right in the heart of things, baby. It's Derby prep season, 100-point Derby prep season, which is what we've been waiting for since I think early February when we realized like this isn't getting any clearer the more races we see, and that's been the case so far. So let's figure some more shit out this weekend.
All right. Well, before we do that, let's talk about some college basketball because round of the Sweet 16 of the tournament is going to start tonight. Let's get it going. Let's kick it off. Clemson and Arizona is where we'll start. Arizona 7.5-point favorite. Total sits at 152.5. Who you got, Magic?
You know what? I'm going to go with Clemson to cover here. I think Joe Girard shooting the three is the way to go here. So I'm going to go with Joe Girard, the Clemson Tigers. I think they're able to cover it. I know you probably talked about Arizona not being super strong at times this year. So I'll go with Clemson to cover. I don't know if they win. I don't care. 7.5 points is a lot to take.
Tony hit it right on the head. You know I'm going to go Clemson today. I think Clemson beats them outright. I think if you want to sprinkle the money line on Clemson, do it. But I am taking the points with Clemson as well, plus 7.5, way too many. I think the Tigers are going to beat them tonight. I've got them to the Elite Eight. So give me the Clemson Tigers. All right. Alabama, North Carolina, as we continue ACC Thursday. North Carolina, 4.5-point favorite here against the Crimson Tide. Total sits at 173.5. Who you got in this one?
I think we're going to agree on this one as well. North Carolina, for me, Tar Heels, is all about Harrison Ingram. This kid's a scoring machine. He's a rebounding machine. I think Harrison Ingram absolutely dominates and rolls the Tide. So give me North Carolina minus 4.5.
I love North Carolina minus 4.5 as well. I don't often say this because, you know, things don't shock me anymore because when you're in it long enough, you've seen everything. But I'd be really surprised if North Carolina doesn't cover. I think they're a much better team than Alabama. I think you give Alabama credit for winning 2 games. They weren't playing real well coming into this thing. They did get a couple of wins. I think it ends tonight. I think Carolina wins this game big. Give me North Carolina. All right, this is the game I've been waiting for, and I know a lot of people in our chat has been on other shows talking about this game and how good it's going to be. Illinois, Iowa State. Iowa State 1.5-point favorite. Total sits at 146.5. Magic. I hope we don't get shut down. What do you think about this one?
Easy for you to say. I'm gonna go with Illinois here. I think the Fighting Illini are gonna able to cause some mischief for Iowa State here in the Cyclones. The Cyclones were perfect at home this season, but they were 11-7 when they were away from home court. And so with all these games being on neutral courts right now, I'm gonna lean with Illinois. Both teams are 9-1 in their last 10, both 7-3 against the spread here. I'm gonna go with Illinois, which is the way that the trend goes because it's open to 2.5. I saw for Iowa State.
I'm scared, but I'm going against you. I'm very, very nervous about this one, but I did go Iowa State. I believe Iowa State will slow them down. And I think if they slow them down and it plays the Iowa State style of play, I think they're going to get the job done. So I went Iowa State here, but I'm very nervous about this one. Not near as confident as the North Carolina play a minute ago. I have fallen in love with this Iowa State team. We'll see how far they can take it. I still believe in them here. I think they'll get the job done. But listen, I really like Illinois as well. This is a great game. Really, really good game.
It feels like the under is a strong play, right, too? Because you have 2 strong defenses. Illinois held Duquesne's Grant to, 2 of 9 shooting, 7 points, and then he'd been averaging almost 17 a game. And so that was a big point that stuck out for me as well for Illinois.
All right, well, we will see what happens. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'm like stoked for this game, and I'm so glad it's at 9:00. Where I got baseball going on today. We'll get to that in a minute. We got a lot of hockey. We got a lot of racing. It's like, okay, this is the last one. All I have to do is focus on this. So yeah, I do like Iowa State, but damn, this is going to be a toughie. They got such a tough draw in this whole tournament, and this will be a tough one tonight. All right. Let's get to racing, Magic, because we are the racing dudes. Let's go to Oakland. I know you were excited for this one, Magic. I couldn't wait for you to come on and tell us who you like here. Let's go to the last. Oakland Park, race 9, an allowance optional claimer, 1 mile the distance here. A field of now 10. I believe the 4 and the 8 have both scratched out of it. So a field of 10. Magic, who do you like in this one?
I never like to play McPeak at a short price, but I'm going to go with the 2-count Dracula on top here. Horse broke the maiden going 2 turns. First of all, I like the fact that at 3 starts, McPeak has only ever put this horse at 2 turns. So that tells me that, that they're meaning big things for this horse in terms of distance. Tried turf, didn't do that well for the debut, went to dirt, and it sat right off of the pace, was able to capitalize and draw off to win by 2.5. It was a big enough field, 9 horses. Second place was 4 lengths clear of third, so I like to see that as well. So definitely dominating those horses. Went to the Black Gold Stakes next out, which was supposed to be on turf, got scratched off and put in the mud, and ran a good tracking spot, pressing the pace and everything, and just got caught late. But the horse that came flying to catch him was well off the pace. This horse was able to dispatch of the other pace setter and get second. I think this is a good spot for him. I think you can let a couple of speed horses go and just press right behind them. Or if things fall his way, maybe he just breaks and takes the lead and tries to go gate to wire here. I love the early speed. I love that he's already finished second by a neck in a stakes race. I just don't love that it's McPeak at 3-1 in a field of 10.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same horse, so I am with you on that. I don't like that either. But the horse looks like it's got upside, and that's kind of why I picked this race. There are a couple in here that have upsides, and we'll just kind of see if they kind of make that next step. You never really know. I mean, this is kind of that next level. If we can win here, we can get to a stakes. And you mentioned the McPeak horse already in a stakes that, I mean, typical fashion, right? We're entered for the turf. It scratches off. We're on the dirt. We've got a turf race in the pedigree or in the past performances. We got a dirt race. This horse is everywhere for McPeak. But look, I do think the 2-count Dracula, first of all, great name. Second of all, I do think if he just kind of runs that race he did last time out, I think he's just a little bit better than the rest of these. I know people are going to be on the 5 big to do for Brad Cox. I get it. I got that horse in second, but I think the 2 with the experience might be able to get the job done. And I think the 2 sits right off the 5 and then goes and gets them. So 2-5 for me. Anybody else you liked in here?
I did like the 5 in here that you mentioned. The 10, Give Me a Reason's a horse that I've been waiting for. He was second to Knightsbridge on his debut. And then the first time he tried going 2 turns, just not a great race. He got stuck wide early, but I'm kind of worried about the same situation. He broke from post 8 that day. He'll break from post 8 with the scratches here. I just worried he's going to get stuck wide. And so I think Give Me a Reason. You don't play him here, but you watch for next time out when he can get a better draw going 2 turns. So I liked him underneath, but I think he's got talent, more talent than his pages have shown. He just needs the right setup.
All right. Well, you mentioned a horse named Knightsbridge. There's people in the chat talking about Knightsbridge. You talk about Knightsbridge now.
Knightsbridge, best bet of the day. I told Aaron, I haven't even handicapped any races tomorrow yet. Knightsbridge is going to be my top pick. And then you look at the field and you see that the 3 Cardinale for Todd Pletcher, who I thought was probably his most likely threat to beat him here, well, that horse is out. He's not going to run now. So Knightsbridge, if you remember, he had that just scintillating debut on November 4th. 7 furlongs at Churchill, wins by 10.5 lengths. This horse is beautifully bred by Nyquist. Half to Speaker's Corner. You remember Speaker's Corner had very similar situation where he debuted, looked brilliant, and then it being Bill Mott and Godolphin, and he's a little injury prone. You don't see him for forever. Now, at least we get to see him back before June, so at least maybe Knightsbridge can win today and go off to, maybe the Peter Pan, and maybe we build towards that route there. But Knightsbridge is back. I think he dominates. I don't think this is a very tough field for him. C Streak, I think, is second, the 5 horse. So if you think the 6 to win is no value, 6-5 straight exacta, I think is the way to play that one. So yeah, there we go.
All right, Knightsbridge here. Pivotal race for sure. This is a horse, like you said, I think was up pretty high on everybody's Derby radar. And like many that were pretty high on everybody's Derby radar, kind of fell off, kind of got hurt, something happened, but we're back with this horse. I read an article saying if we look good here and they win, they're going to go to the Pat Day Mile next, which will be on that Derby undercard. And, if you start to dream, but if you win that or you win this and then you win the Pat Day Mile, maybe you take a shot at the Belmont at Saratoga. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. But they've kind of got a plan mapped out. But step number 1, win today. Step number 2, stay healthy. That's going to be the 2 big ones for Knightsbridge. But we'll see him today in the 6th race at, where is that? At Gulfstream. All right, now let's get to my best bet today. I mentioned it. Folks, it's opening day of the best betting season of the whole year. Major League Baseball, opening day of baseball today. I'm already 1-0, Magic, because while this is the real opening day, there was like a quasi opening day overseas where the Dodgers and the Padres played 2 games. So let's try to make it 2-0. I'm going to go Baltimore Orioles. It actually is the first game today coming up in a couple hours. Baltimore Orioles minus a run and a half at plus 115. I love the Orioles this year. I think they're stronger than a year ago when they were very, very good. Obviously, they host the Angels. That's right. The Angels who, no, they don't look to be too good at all this season. I think they're going to have a really horrible season. I thought minus a run and a half, getting plus 115 on Baltimore. I thought that was pretty darn good value in this one. So Baltimore Orioles minus a run and a half this afternoon at plus 115. Baseball is back. Are you excited, Magic? Probably not, huh?
No. No. Yeah. Not a big baseball guy, sorry.
Wow. Well, that hurts. Okay, well, let's...
You know what? Cut the season in half, have it do 80-some games like a normal sport. Maybe I won't lose interest after like 2 months.
You need to start watching at the 4th of July through the rest of the season. Then it's almost cut in half.
On the 4th of July or maybe the 5th, ask me if I'm excited about baseball.
Okay.
Now is not the time to ask me.
Okay. Hey, both points are fair. We'll just leave it at that. Right. It does get long. I lose interest late in the season, which is when you should be gaining interest. But because it's not the only thing, but it's one of the big things, especially through like June and July and August. And then football starts and it's like, there's a whole nother month of baseball. I don't want to watch this. So anyway, long story short, maybe, start the playoffs earlier. Okay, let's go to Papa Dude's bet here. Speaking of playoffs, we're getting close, and the best playoffs of all, that's hockey. But he's going to take the Florida Panthers tonight, minus a goal and a half at plus 135. They take on the New York Islanders. They're at home. Papa Dude said, look, the price is too good not to play it. Panthers, obviously a better team than the Islanders. My only worry with this one, Magic, the Islanders, I don't think they have much hope to make the playoffs, but they're still probably holding on to that hope. Maybe they give a gigantic effort here against the Panthers team they're clearly in. However, the Panthers are battling for playoff position as well. What do you think about this one?
I like it. The Islanders can be a little snippy, but I think the Panthers just have the overall talent where the minus 1.5 makes sense here.
Okay, Panthers minus 1.5. We'll see if Papa Dude can get it. All right, let's go to the best bets of the day. I'm going to go Baltimore Orioles on opening day, minus a run and a half, plus 115. Magic's going to go Gulfstream Park Race 6, number 6, Knightsbridge. And then Papa Dude going to go Florida Panthers minus a goal and a half tonight, plus 135. We're up 778 for the year so far. We have basically just tread water the last 2 weeks, up a little, down a little. We need to get back over 1,000 here before we get into April. So that's going to be the goal this week. Magic, what's going on today for you?
For me specifically, Magic Mike Show at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, covering the late pick 5 at Gulfstream for Saturday, March 30th. All stake sequence. It ends in the Florida Derby, so you can check that out. Get picks from Mike and I for these races. Some interesting races. I mean, the card is great. It always is for Florida Derby Day, but some interesting handicapping decisions you have to make playing this late pick 5. So I'm sure Mike and I are going to have extreme disagreement on at least one race. But beyond that, it'll be a lot of fun. So join us for that 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. All
right. Have you handicapped the whole card or just those 5 races so far?
I've got everything. I need to finish up the Appleton and then do the Florida Derby.
Okay. So just an overarching question, not anything specific, but what do you think of the card, number one, and how you feeling with your handicapping?
I always feel great about my handicapping. I always think it's perfect, spot on. When they break from the gate, it's not my fault if the horse doesn't win, as I picked it to win for a reason. No, I think it's a good, a really fun card. There's a couple races where I'm trying to take some big shots against. This is kind of like the horses that you see do well today are now going to aim for that like Derby weekend. Start looking at what kind of stakes races they can get into for that. So it's a very pivotal day. Even if you're not overly excited about the Florida Derby itself, there's a lot of great horses that you got to watch for and pay attention to, because when we get to Churchill, when we get to Keeneland, these horses are going to be showing up again, and you don't want to miss them when they're going to run big.
I think that's really well put. I don't think there's any monsters in this group as a whole. I'm not talking about the Florida Derby. This whole card, I don't think there's like whoa, this is a superstar, but I think the races are pretty evenly matched. And I think other than maybe a couple spots, but we'll see what happens. So I think it's a fun card. I think that's kind of the way you described it. And I think that is very true. On that topic, tonight, it's going to be a night of racing, dudes. It's nothing in the afternoon. So Magic Mike will actually be the next show we have live for you. Like he said, coming up at 5 Eastern. Coming up at 6 Eastern will be Dudes Who Bet Sports. We will be talking about, obviously, the Sweet 16, Elite 8 games in college basketball. We'll also talk a little bit about the Arkansas Derby as well. And then also, right after Dudes Who Bet Sports, probably about 8 Eastern, Blinkers Off tonight, a night show. We've been doing them in the afternoon. Tonight it'll be at night. So that'll be very fun to watch as well. Blinkers Off. And, of course, we'll be talking Florida Derby, Arkansas Derby, UAE Derby, Dubai World Cup. Holy cow, so much to talk about. So with that note, we're getting out of here, Magic, because I got to rest up. We got a long night ahead of me. I usually am in bed by like 7, so I got to rest up now. So.
And asleep by 10.
All right, here we go. We're going to get out of here now, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We will be back for a afternoon delight / night delight later on. So, all right, guys. See you soon.